So, where to begin? Previously, I had made a video about my excitement for Final Fantasy Universes Beyond in Magic the Gathering. And I'd made a video specifically with a wish list of characters. And we got a good amount of them. We got Stanner, right? Let's do a little zoom action here. Ooh. We got Steiner. But he's pretty basic, right? And he was high up on my list. +1/+1 for equipments. Lifelink. I mean, it's fine, right? Who else did we get that I wanted? Let's see. Let's just scroll. By the way, 164 legendary creature types alone in this set. Pretty crazy. I think this set was heavily made with Commander in mind. The Black Waltz was unexpected. That was a cool get, though, right? Kate Sith. No. Who else do we want? I mean, we all knew we were getting Cloud. That's no surprise. Cloud, Sephiroth. We all knew that shit. We got Steiner. He was on my list. That's one. And one and one. This is between the set itself and the Commander sets as well. Where all my guys? Kefka. I believe I had Kefka on my list. If not, you could go back and watch it correctly. Kuja was probably not on my list either, but great. I'm a huge Final Fantasy IX nerd. We got Red, even though he's kind of butt, right? We still got him. We got Quinoa, who's really good for mono green. Man, it's hard to scroll through this. I should have planned this out. Whatever, fuck it. We're doing it live. So that's like 4. Strago. I wanted Strago. I'm probably one of the only people on the fucking planet that were like, yeah, give me a Strago card. But we got it. Vivi. I wanted a Vivi Steiner partner. We didn't get it, but still. Vivi being probably one of the most broken cards in the set. So where am I getting at? Oh, Zidane. Zidane being there is fucking awesome. The only character we didn't get from 9 that I really wanted was Armand. Sorry, Amaranth. I always say Armand because dyslexia. So where am I going with this? I put out my wish list for the Final Fantasy set. We got a good portion of my wish list for characters. Oh, Locke was on there too. So you would think, yeah, my favorite deck is going to be one of those characters I picked, right? You'd be wrong. Where I actually wound up is my favorite Final Fantasy commander is not even from the set, if you will. If you will, I introduce you to Mr. Tom Bombadil. You might remember him from the Lord of the Rings Universes Beyond set that was almost last year. Last year. Time is a fickle mistress. And it is exactly what you think it is. It is all summons. Just every summon, which I think is including dominance. The dominant flip to the summon. I think it's a total of like almost 31 creatures or something like that. So, Tom Bombadil, Final Fantasy crossover. Why do I love the deck so much? It plays differently almost every time. I've played the deck ballpark over 20, under 40 for sure. But it plays different every time, and the best part about it is the typical pieces you would see in a commander deck aren't really in it, because summons carry the weight of that burden for the deck itself. And I'm talking about, card draw, ramp, evasion, stuff like that. So where are the highlights of the deck? Of course, all the summons. And also, this deck, this deck does not actually cost this much money. That's all in the land base. I've been playing Magic for a long time. I have a lot of... when I'm playing a 5-color deck, I only have one at a time because of how expensive the land package always is if you want to be consistent. So this price is heavily inflated from like full art triomes and like fetch lands and stuff like that. You could build this deck at a lower efficiency power level and not spend that much money for sure. So side note on that. But so the deck plays differently every time in the effects you get, and your summons are always the bodies doing the damage, just about always. So some key pieces, I shouldn't even say some key pieces, some budget players that are always carrying the weight for this. Strength from the Fallen. Let's see if I can bring this card up for you. View card notes. Bingo bango. Whenever Strength from the Fallen or another enchantment enters the battlefield under control, target creature gets +X to end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You're always sacrificing the Saga summons, so there's always stuff in the bin, and you're getting a pump for every creature you play and entering. It's just a great powerhouse of a card. Even if you put it on something simple, let's look for something simpler. Where's Chocomog? Chocomog is super simple. There he is. Even when you put it on Chocomog, that's a 3/3 for 3 that pumps your whole board, and now you play another one, you're getting +X. Even Chocomog becomes like a threat. Any summon you slap down with Strength from the Fallen, most of the time is a threat, you know, barring it's like past turn 3, right? Some other, these are two, if you're not running these two cards in decks where it's available, you're making a mistake. Front Cliff Siege. The new Jeskai enchantment from Tarkir. Jeskai, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage, draw a card. Great for later on. Also could be great for early if you're playing really evasive. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. Great for late game. Giving summons haste is a big benefit because most of them pop at 3, 3, 4. So getting that extra swing in on the 1 when they come in is just great value. Note, when you use this, you have to pick Team Yor or Jeskai for the whole game, for anybody who doesn't know. Early, late, mid for 3 on an enchantment is just, this is a superbly designed enchantment. The second one is in the same cycle, and it is Halamark Siege. Sultai, whenever a counter is put on a creature you control, draw a card. The ability only triggers once per turn. Sagas are getting counters when they come in, and every turn after. You always get a trigger for a card draw. Abzin, whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains Menace. Menace isn't underrated. Menace is just always great, especially in Commander games. Some other heavy hitters. First off, Spell Swindle. If you're not running Spell Swindle in any of your blue decks that do counter magic, you're doing it wrong. The fact that this card is $3.99 is kind of absurd for what it does. Sure, is it a 5-drop counter spell? Yeah, but most of the time you're going to be getting 4 to 6, in my experience, 4 to 6 treasures off of whatever you're countering on average. So, I mean, that's blue ramp, baby. There's not a lot of pieces that do it, but this counter spell is incredible. You should be running it more. Mirror Weave. Look at this. Look at this bad boy. Each other creature becomes a copy of target non-legendary creature until end of turn. Big point of note here, instant speed. So what does that mean? I'm untapping. I'm in my upkeep step. I haven't drawn yet, and I'm running all sagas. Let's say I have a Bahamut. Let's say I have a Bahamut, right? Let's say he's already at 1. What's his 2? Bahamut. Let's say I have 3 summons out, right? I make them all a copy of Bahamut at 1. Destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent at 2. I should mention some summons, if you don't know, are 2 drops, are 3 drops. If I can mirror weave Bahamut in my upkeep and get 3 Bahamuts, I'm blasting permanents away. Or let's say it's at 2 already, I go to 3, I'm drawing 6 cards. I have had mirror weave go off twice so far, and it has produced a massive amount of value both times. Unluckily enough, I haven't been able to draw it and keep it in my hand long enough because I'm typically discarding things because I'm drawing so many cards. And the only card draw piece I really have in here besides summons is Rhystic Study, right? Rhystic Study, maybe the Siege if I hit somebody. Enchantress of Presence has actually not been performing because I normally get it late. That's just bad luck though. But yeah, these summons pick up ramp, they pick up card draw, they pick up damage. They do everything. And I'm just overwhelmingly surprised at how well the deck plays. And yes, you could make the argument that my land base is a peak land base, but I would argue, you know, you cut some of these lands because I'm running 39. Because the ramp is, like I said, relegated to pretty much the summons. But I'm running 39. You could cut this down to 37, run a couple more ramp spells, and kind of make up a little bit for it. So, my favorite commander that I've built so far out of Final Fantasy isn't even from the set. And Tom Bombadil, I mean, spoiler, if you run something like this, doesn't even have to be out. Is it good if he is and he goes off? For sure. A free summon is always good. But sometimes that free summon is unfortunately going to be Chocomog, or it's going to be, you know, GF Ifrit, which is not so good, right? I would say out of the games I've played, Tom Bombadil has been super effective, maybe like 30% of the time. But that's also what I like. I love commander decks that don't rely on the commander. There's an additional support piece that you can play, maybe if you're in the right situation, but you don't have to. When you're slapping down, you know, 2 summons in a turn a little earlier, get some of the cheaper ones, and then rolling that into some of the mid-range ones, the value just creates itself, really. And you can become a threat, but sometimes you're kind of just seen as that like offshoot value player that's, you know, drawing some cards, ramping a little bit, but not really a threat because my bodies are going to go away, right? Now, where's the real weakness? Well, if you look at this land base is 39 cards, right? And if, as you can see, there's no stacks here. So the real weakness is I'm running 2 basics even. There's an island, bingo bango, and there's a mountain, right? Mountain? Am I blind? There he is. There's the mountain, because it's an Odyssey mountain. I couldn't see it. An island and a mountain. 2 basics. So if you mill me till I hit a basic, brother, am I out of the game. Unless I have Replenish in my hand, which is cheeky and has worked. And no, I didn't buy Replenish. proxy, replenish. Proxy to land base. Fucking do whatever you want. So, I also found out, oddly enough, I'm only running 99. I guess they shorted me a sleeve, and also I can't count because I'm a fucking moron. But I've been short a card this whole time, so now I have to buy new sleeves and decide what I'm going to put in it. If you got an idea what I'm going to put in it, fucking throw it down in the comments. Tell me what I should put in it. So, that's Tom Bombadil. It's super straightforward, but the games vary so much, it's always interesting. And I'm also like, there's a little bit of proliferate-y stuff in here, but not a lot. Mostly what I mean by proliferate is, I got lost in my own thoughts there for a second. I run Okatara, whatever his name is, from Final Fantasy, whatever the fuck. Whatever his name is. That's like, I have that in Nesting Grounds as a land. So I could just move a counter and then do the same with Nesting Grounds. So it's not even really proliferate. So what my point is, I'm not spending a lot of time like turning dies and being like, oh, fucking, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 1 to 2. Like, there is some of that, but it goes pretty quick because most of the time I'd say there's at most 5 summons on the board at once with an average of definitely 3 to 4. 5 is peak. I think at one point I had 6 on the board because Tom Bombadil went off twice. With the help of Strionic Resonator, by the way. So, with all that in mind, it got me thinking about, like, my past. Because Tom Bombadil easily and quickly has become, this deck is not going anywhere. It's just too much damn fun. And there's just, like I said, so much variance. So, how do I know he's sticking around? There's only been 2 other decks that I had that when I built and when I played for the first, dozen matches, felt like this guy's pretty fucking awesome. And what were those? First one. Hit me with your hate. I feel it. I feel you furrowing your brow and just grimacing at me. This was one of my first really good commander decks when I got serious into deck building and I wasn't just slopping shit together in a pile. This was a devastating commander to run. And boy was it not fun for everybody else. But I was also a degen from Upcountry back in the day. I was a blue player to my core. I have since been reformed, and I'm more of a turn sideways Mathis for blockers person, but this guy, a lot of fond memories. And the only other deck that made me feel this way, Big Boy His-self. I ran a super, super expensive ramp package with all the sort ofs back in the day. This deck was around, 8 years easy. Long time, from like 2013 to like 2019. 5 years, probably even longer than that. But the ramp package was expensive because it was a lot of the, Lotus Petal, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, the free one you tap for any color, Opal, Mox Opal, yep. It ran all those, and the deck was super competitive for its day. Today it wouldn't last a minute, but this deck was interesting because the play was always a little different based on the combat, the sword you got, and whatever combat instance you had. So there was a good amount of variance, and that's why it stuck around for a long time. Also, killing like 2 people by turn 4 is awesome, dude. Zergo, to this day, is probably one of the best Voltron commanders, but just due to the degradation over time, he's rough to play. And people know he's coming now, and with the amount of like free counter spells and free removal that are available, he's probably just never going to stick, especially in a 5-drop. But those 2 decks, they both this guy and Zergo stuck around for a while. So yeah, my favorite commander is not even a Final Fantasy character, but it's its own high summoner, and it's hella fun, and I encourage you to try it. What card should I make number 100? Please help. Yeah, the deck list is on Architect. I'll put it in the description and have at it. That's all I got. Did you like the video? Did you learn something in the video? Did you have a good time in the video? Do something about it. Press the button. Or don't. I mean, I prefer if you press the button. You don't have to, though. Do it like you want. You're your own person. You're your own man, woman, child. All right.